Welcome
Yeah.
back to the Denizen Sucks podcast.
It sucks. Swipe left. It's fine. Just do it. Swipe right? No, swipe left. I don't do that stuff.
And
Yeah, swipe left. We are incredibly honored and grateful to have the great Eric Shankman of Spin Doctors with us on the podcast.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, where are you calling in from, Eric?
Yo, man. Hang on.
No, it's all good. It
I'm
throws
just
on a good
wish-
frame of you. You got a nice
I'm in Asbury Park, New Jersey, but I'm gonna put on my. I'm gonna tag this to my phone because this hotel internet sucks. Just a minute.
Yeah.
See if I
Well,
get
it's
a
all
hotspot
good.
thingy.
I saw you guys are
have
playing
a personal
Asbury Park
hotspot.
Summer Stage tomorrow night.
good
Amazing.
God. Yeah, the tour looks
Yes,
insane.
sir. We are. Yes, it's true. We're playing the summer stage.
How are they?
Incredible.
It's kind of insane. I'm gonna see if I can. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, I'm just gonna do. There we go. iPhone. Okay, let's see if that's any better. Are you still there? Yeah, there we go. Are you guys frozen or are you still there?
We're still there.
We're here.
Okay,
We're here
good.
for you.
Yes, so the tour is amazing and it's happening, and we're in Asbury tomorrow with Blues Traveler and Gin Blossoms on the
Holy
outside, the Stone Pony, by the boardwalk.
Incredible. I saw Modest Mouse play there maybe 5 or 10 years ago. It's a great atmosphere out there, the outdoor.
Legendary.
Hopefully the weather will be okay for you.
Yeah, it looks okay. Actually looks all right. I keep my eye on the weather because it's either like fucking like you need an arc or it's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pumped to see you guys in a couple weeks. I'm based in Charlotte, so I'm going to see you in a couple weeks.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Great, amazing. Yeah. We're that's where we are. That's like the last date of a part of the run, I think, as I recall.
That's so
Amazing. Well, we're so grateful to have you here. I mean, honestly, it's an honor to speak with you. And Dave and I started this band. We're cousins, so we started this band in 2012 and started this podcast like about a year ago. But to have you on is a privilege and a pleasure.
Well,
Well, I'm in the habit of saying I say yes to. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Oh, no. Finish your thought, please. Yes, and
No, I was just going to say I say yes to most things like this because I'm usually in a fucking hotel room, and I try to I put these things in my hair sometimes too. Where are they? These things.
Yeah.
I started doing this, which is it helps with the just to pass the time, and then I've got this thing.
Yeah.
This kind of helps a little bit sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you can, whatever you can do. We were just out to dinner, and at Jimmy's Italian, which is cool.
Nice.
And so yeah.
I mean,
so
you
what are
guys
you guys
go-
doing? You got a fire. I mean,
Yeah, it's actually pouring rain over where I am, and it's like
okay. Well,
I wanted to make sure there was a fire though, so I'm huddled underneath an umbrella, trying to get out of the
I like
rain.
it.
You guys are playing with
Yeah.
Blues Traveler.
Yes, sir.
Look, I mean, you guys with John Popper go all the way back. How's that relationship these days?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good, man. Yeah, like Chris sings with them. They usually sing have them up every night. They do this song called "Sham Pipple" that him and John O'Manson and Chris wrote, and so Chris is almost up. He basically is up every night, and they call me up about every 3 gigs to play a song called "Carolina Blues"
Uh-huh.
with them, and actually, most importantly and coolest of all is that we segued the bands night before last, and we also did it 2 other times, all the different songs, and I think we have 5 more on this tour where instead of playing last, they play second, and then when we get to the end of our set, we tell them what song we're doing, and they calculate some other song that's close, and then the first one was like a car wreck, and then but they're really cool. It's really cool to have the two drummers, two bass players, two guitar players, Ben on organ, and John, everybody up at the same
Yeah.
time, and then they come up one at a time, we go off one at a time, and it turns into them.
God, what a bill, man. You guys are
Super
all from
cool.
somewhat of the same scene then, back in the
Yeah,
really the early 90s scene. Um,
yeah,
I
yeah,
I watched this awesome documentary on the wetlands.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I know that's a really important venue to you guys. I was wondering if you could speak to what that venue meant back in the day and back for you guys, Spin Doctors.
Yeah, well, Wetlands was we Traveler as well. Like we go back a little further than Wetlands, but not that much really. The
Yeah.
band's sort of John brought Blues Traveler in to the town at probably around '87. John and I had a thing going around the same time because we were involved in the same music program on Fifth Avenue in the village at the new school, and
Yeah.
he introduced me to Chris, and we started when the band started. Chris and I put the Spin Doctors together. Blues Travelers started, sort of striking out, and we have some songs in common. Like I mentioned, Chris and Jono and sorry, you're losing me here. My
That's
fucking
okay.
does your it's like so weird. It's like it's in
It
competition with.
it moves
Yeah, I
sometimes.
know. It's like I'm like, sorry about that.
It's
And
okay.
yeah, it's got my mind now. So there's some songs in common. There's some songs that became other songs.
Right.
I'm just going back like a hair. It's like Mulling It Over was actually is also a song called Stepped on a Crack, which was originally Mulling It Over, the music and the words, and at that point the Spin Doctors started playing. Blues Traveler was playing out. We started all playing. Our home bar was the Nightingale Bar, not the Wetlands, and that was
Yeah.
more like a kind of a punky thing. It was more punk
Uh-huh.
and sort of hardcore East Side. Then we discovered the Wetlands, and the Wetlands was like this kind of burgeoning little re-hippie scene
Yeah.
where
Right.
all the kids from uptown were coming downtown, and they were basically Deadheads, and the
Right.
Dead was not like it is now, as you know. It was actually the Grateful Dead, and
Right. Right.
yeah, and so then we became involved in the Wetlands, and the Wetlands was like the coolest club for us because it was like spacious and it sounded really good,
Yeah.
and the stage was wood, and we spent a lot of time in there, and we both bands probably recorded there. There's a lot of other groups there, and it
Hmm.
became like the hub.
Yeah. And Up for Grabs. My God.
Recorded at the Wetlands.
What a
Yep.
kick-ass live album. I love that album. Um,
Yeah, it's cool. I like it too.
that was like 1990. Do I have that right? Up for Grabs.
Yeah, yeah, 1990. I think we recorded it in 1990. Yeah, uh-huh. And
And
it was
so at
supposed
that,
to be.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. No, no, you go ahead.
So at that point, you were like, you hadn't done Kryptonite. You
Nope.
were like bubbling. You
Hmm.
had not, but you were really hot in New York.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's the thing about New York is both bands were. We were
yeah.
we were sort of up and coming, and of course in New York that means that a lot of people know about you because New York is a huge city, and there was of course no internet. So,
Right.
yeah, bubbling is a good way to put it. It was
Yeah.
like we'd play places and the walls would sweat and people would really, be out on the corner, smoking weed and doing whatever they do. And it was a cool, cool scene. And yes, one quick note, Up for Grabs, just trying to think of how I can tell you this. Right before Up for Grabs, we had cut a couple of songs that did appear on Kryptonite. And I think originally we were supposed to be making an EP
Right.
and then it turned into the live record, and then that stuff took a backseat because we went to England. We came back and we finished the record, which then became Kryptonite.
Right. And then Kryptonite, you soar through the stratosphere. I mean, it takes a little minute maybe for it to like
Yeah.
distribute.
Oh
but
yeah, it
then-
took like a year and a half, couple years.
right.
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
you guys are like cover Rolling Stone,
yeah, yeah.
gigantic. What
Uh-huh.
is that?
Yeah.
I would love if you could speak a little bit to that moment in the band's history in particular, where like I remember seeing an interview with Jerry Garcia where he's like, once the Haight Ashbury was discovered, the scene was over or something like that. Is
Yeah,
there any like wistful nostalgia about the
yeah. Yeah, sure,
Pre-Kryptonite?
because we became an MTV band like pretty quickly, right? And the problem with it's interesting, actually, a little bit of precursor to the phone, right? Like all of a sudden your audience isn't looking at you anymore. They're looking like they're watching TV.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Because
Interesting.
technically they are, and then you become like a two-hit wonder band, really, for many intents and purposes, right? Which is
Hmm.
not us, but it is us because Two Princes was so huge,
Right.
and continues to be like a really huge song. Like when we play Little Miss, and we play. My uncle come and see us the other night, and he was like, "It's really interesting the way your fans get triggered by like those two songs." Suddenly you're playing that song, everybody gets up and starts singing. But the band is actually much deeper than that. You wouldn't really necessarily know that, but I
Hmm.
mean, I remember fondly coming because we worked really hard. We had a van, and we took it out in New York. We went national. Like we really worked hard, and we
Right.
really built this band from nothing,
Yeah.
from like two people in a club. And so my answer to your question is I remember driving back into the city from somewhere, probably upstate New York, and we had just bought our van. It was like an Econoline, this red Econoline with no
Uh-huh.
headrests. And we were listening to probably K-Rock or NEW. It was some one of the New York stations, and we're coming up, I think Fifth Avenue, and we're listening to the radio, and Heartbreakers on
Yeah.
by Led Zeppelin, which is a great sounding track. And then right after it, they played Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. I know other stuff happened first, and I know that it blew up slowly, and I know that story. It always seems to be the story that gets told. But to me, I just remember, one of the things about those days too with radio is that radio had compressors as well, right? So
Right.
it sort of depended on how your record got hit the compressor. You didn't really know how your record is going to sound on the radio until you hear it on the
Right.
radio. And I remember, like, I know that Zeppelin track, and it's huge and it sounds great.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought that Little Miss Can't Be Wrong could sound like big like that.
Uh-huh.
I just didn't think, and then it came on and it was just huge,
Yeah.
and it just sounded great, and it was just kind of like, kind of sort of made my day, man. It was like I knew, something was going on. There's lots of other stories I could tell, but that was like we were all in the van, or just, and it wasn't even a fucking bench van. It was like it was our equipment van, and we used to travel like in it with the equipment. So it was
Sure.
sort of like this moment,
Oh my
you know.
God. That,
Amazing.
go ahead, Pete.
I'd love to jump ahead. Well, first of all, Eric, if there's anything in particular, obviously you want to talk about this, like, feel free. I mean, we want to, feel free to let you kind of plug stuff. I know you're obviously on tour, but I want to talk a
Hmm.
little bit about some of your solo stuff,
Sure.
if you'd be open to it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yes,
open.
like specifically,
Open for business.
The Who Shot John album. I mean, I love that record. Came out 2019, if I remember correctly, and
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah, I think so. That's about right.
yeah,
Right
it has a
before the great pandemic.
Yeah, the Great Pandemic had a really great bluesy vibe.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was trying to make a blues record. Well, mostly a blues record, with I can't just do that, but yeah, because I was playing a lot of blues in Toronto, where I live, where I moved to at the turn of the century. I was playing a lot of blues there with a lot of guys I love playing with, and they play great blues, and it's just this cool scene, and I ended up. I had a couple of songs I wrote for my friend Jerome, and we used to do those. And then I thought, I'll make a record on this wonderful, fantastic guitar player that I'm friends with, Sean Kellerman, and I took him on as my co-producer, and then he played bass on the record. Mostly, I think I played maybe a little bit, but mostly it's him on bass.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I had a whole crop of songs, and then I went up to trying to think of how it started. I think early on I went up to Cody's place. Cody Dickinson, the drummer and washboard player and keyboard player with the North Mississippi All Stars, and Spins had worked with his dad in Memphis on a record that never came out. Another story, and so Cody and I have been friends for a long time, and I went to South Haven and slept on his floor for a couple of days and wrote Agent Orange and something
love that
else.
song.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
It's
And
an
and
awesome track.
Thank you. It's cool. It's very, it's got it's like it's a lot of Cody in there. It's his that's the whole feel of South Haven is in that song. It just popped out. I just picked up a guitar and basically just played that song and sang it in one shot.
Well, and
More or
one other thing
less.
I was going to ask you, it sounded like the vocals, like if there was some post-production stuff, sounded almost a little different from the other songs on the
Yeah.
record.
That's because it was recorded literally with me standing in his little closet sound booth with a 5 watt amp that kept on like going and we'd have to do the thing and his Les Paul and he was like I could see him. We were just jamming. He was playing drums, and yeah, and that just fucking song, just like that's the vocal is like because it's a small guitar amp, so it's
Sounds
like
great.
yeah, it's cool. It really came out good, you know. I
Oh,
had to
absolutely.
transcribe the lyrics. I didn't even know what they were, and I was like, and I realized I love that. Like I've got a song on my new record like that too, where it's like I didn't know what the lyric was until I listened to it. So sometimes off my line from the Spin Doctors is a bit like that. Like it's just like, I work with Chris, and Chris crafts lyrics and is very careful about them. And those two guys in the Spins, they love their music. They love what they do and very happy with what they write. And I hate what I write. And so yeah, I'm like, you know, and so it takes me a while to actually dig it, or somebody else has to dig it first. But so anyways, that record started with Cody, and but I'm a good collaborator. And mostly because that somebody else is going, yeah, yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, cool. I
Uh-huh.
love what you're doing already. And then so yeah, so that record, and then I got him to play washboard on No Pain. That's dedicated to my friend Ronan because she used to say no pain instead of no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
And uh, and then there's this couple of three blueses, more from up in Toronto, and then Van Romain played drums on the rest of the record. And he's a guy that I knew from playing Zydeco in New York City with Jimmy Mack's band called Lou Garou. So Who Shot John, which is a Zydeco track, which I sort of wrote over the period of like 30 years. I had the idea for it, and then it took like 25 years, and then it finally like popped out of my head one day, and it was close to making the record. I thought it'd be a good title, especially because Who Shot John means like, cut the bullshit or don't give me that. Who Shot John is like a euphemism for, you know, crap, basically.
Sure.
So it's like, anyways, I love it. They like that record. I had a lot of fun making like sort of weird videos for it with my friends in Toronto. You can see them on my YouTube channel. And then just to plug myself further, this year I just finished a record which I'm actually mastering. I'm finishing it today. It's very timely to talk to you guys.
Amazing. Is this 10 Smiles?
Yeah, that's right. And it's like we're already advertising it, but it's basically it's done. It's just that I had to remaster it. So I've done the singles and I've done a bunch of videos. And the first video came out July 14th. It's called Recipe, and it's my little ode to the electric guitar, it turns out, because every electric guitar comes with a pedigree, I realized, and then it's like your thing you put in it. That's the recipe, and that song actually started in Cody's new place in outside of Little Rock. So there's a Cody connection on both of those records. I love Cody Dickinson, and I'll tell anybody that'll listen. And
Awesome.
yeah, and
Well,
so
that's what I was going to ask. Just a quick question:
yeah,
How do
yeah.
these two albums sonically like? Are they similar, different? Does this have a blues vibe too?
Yeah, like Sean mixed a couple of tracks on this one. He mixed the last record, most of it. Another guy named Brian mixed a couple of tracks on that record. They're mastered by the same guy, so um, I think Who Shot John is like a little bit more true to the blues kind of root, like that sort of like right sound, like that's fidelity wise. This one is mixed by and co-produced by my friend Aaron Goldstein up in Toronto, and it's slightly different sonically, and I really like it. It's like Aaron, we recorded it like we didn't know we were making a record. We started recording, me and Al Cross and Stan Mizek, who I play with in Toronto on Wednesdays, and I went in because I had a couple of songs. I had these three tunes, and I just wanted to record them. Went to Aaron's place, and the vibe was so good. I went back twice more, and everything was recorded really fast, except for I took time with the vocals. I actually like there's no auto tune or anything, but I actually sang them like did the overdubs and carefully sang them. I think I've never sang better than I do on this record. And then Aaron, his take on the mixing is that he reads the vocal and the guitar in a really interesting way. Like he just hears me in this kind of just I can't explain it. It's just a really cool way. So it might be a little bit less like super fidelity than Who Shot John, but it's just the mixes have this thing. I really like it, and I hope people like it too. So
Yeah, amazing. Well, I listened to Recipe and loved it. And I also saw
oh,
or
cool.
read somewhere that Recipe is not played with a click track. Is that right?
None of the record is to click.
Oh,
Very
The
boom,
whole
cool.
thing, yeah,
boom.
the whole thing is non-click, and that was on purpose too because the spins, our rhythm section is so good. Aaron is a click, and
Yeah.
he's just like he has perfect time. That rhythm section is totally amazing, and
Yes.
and I wanted to do something, you know, just like spontaneous and like without too no not too precious, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I actually have two tracks on there. I have a reworking of one spin song called Some Other Man Instead, which is like wildly up tempo to the version that we put on our blues record. And then I also pay tribute to the band by playing our song The Drop, but I sing it and I sing the lyrics my way and they're slightly different. Then there's a song called Christina, the Ballad of Grossman's Tavern, which is a story. It's basically the ballad of the place that I've been playing for 10 years. And then there's Recipe and the song that's coming out in 2 weeks called Hit on Me, which I wrote with Corky Lang, my longtime songwriting
Yes.
partner who wrote Mississippi Queen. He's my brother from another planet. And and then there's the next one's going to be Avocado El Dorado, which is all about my grandfather's Cadillac,
Yeah.
which has got there's a picture of it on the record cover, and it's a fucking really cool rock song. And then there's the Buffalo, which is like this crazy psychedelic song. And then there's I Get the Picture, which is like a boogie, like my way. And then there's Cold Little Feelings, which is a shuffle. So there's blues on there, but it's not like so trad. It's like, I didn't, like I say, it's not precious. It's like, and very immediate. And then what's the final single? These will all be videos that are coming out. The last one is, I'm missing one. What the fuck? I Get the Picture, Cold Little Feelings, the Buffalo song, Avocado El Dorado, Recipe. Oh no, that's it. And I Get the Picture. Yeah. And then I think that's all of them. Oh, and then I cover one song that I love called "Can I Change My Mind," which was a Tyrone Davis hit in 1966. No
Oh,
click track, lots of cool like guitars. I think I might have figured out how to stack guitars in an instant. Like Keith, I always admire Keith Richards for being
oh yeah.
playing perfectly and never exactly the same as the other tracks. And you go, how the fuck does he get 16
Yeah.
guitars? And that song, I Get the Picture. I think I might have come close. So there's a lot to like listen to. I'm very proud of it. I don't care if anybody else likes it, but I hope people like give it a chance.
When does it
That's
drop again?
awesome. Yeah. When does it drop?
The record itself will be out like in April
Okay.
after the six singles come out. But
Right.
if you want it before then, you can order the vinyl.
Order the
And
vinyl,
it's
man.
Yes.
you order
100%.
the vinyl, it's on 180 grams, and you get like all the lyrics, and it's a really cool package. Like I designed with this guy Eric Grace up in Calgary, and it's available on experiencevinyl.com. And there's a if you go to my Instagram, um, or you can find my Instagram through YouTube. There'll be a link up there periodically. I'll be posting this stuff up there, and you can sort of keep tabs on all this shit and what the Spins are doing as well, which is really exciting as well because we're out there. We're playing our most recent record as well as the old stuff. And Kryptonite turns 160 next year, so we're going to be out. We're going to be playing that. We're going to be doing Kryptonite shows in the winter. We've got 12 planned, which will be the record plus, six or eight, a six pack of other stuff as well. So there's a lot going on, man. We're going to, we're busy. And then, I don't know, like, if that ain't enough, I'll have to get another bull terrier.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to
That's
talk a little bit
awesome.
about the last amazing Spin Doctors record, Face Full of Cake,
Yeah,
which to my ear is easily the best album, I think, since
kryptonite.
Kryptonite.
Me too.
Um,
They have a lot in
okay,
common.
yeah, I right, definitely.
Yeah,
Really
and it
seems
really
like it seems like a classic Spin Doctors record.
it is.
But I wonder if you could talk. There's a lineup change, and how did that
Yes.
influence that album? Jack
Uh,
Haley,
Massively,
yeah,
actually. Like, so real quick, Kryptonite was written basically, all the songs were written by me and Aaron and Chris in
yeah,
various ways. They're all collaborations, but they came in different ways. So one of us will bring in a song, but we'll all finish the song. So we're all like, we had that record written when Mark came in the band. We had a bunch of other bass players first for short stints, but it never really we never really clicked. As soon as Mark came in the band,
yeah,
that whole hard funk thing, everything, it just went click, and
yeah,
all those songs, and then and the band sort of happened, and when we cut that record, it was just like magic. It was easy. It was effortless. It didn't try. Not like I said. It wasn't It wasn't precious. It was very immediate. And then fast forward
yeah. Long time.
165
Yeah,
years,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically a very very similar story. We were going along trying to like just resurrect ourselves for the early part of the century, before the pandemic, and then the pandemic started coming on, and our bass player Mark, who I love dearly, he just had a lot of issues with the way the world was happening, and I'm sure
Yeah,
people out there can relate. I don't have to get into too much, but he didn't want to vaccinate, and he didn't want to fly anymore, and he didn't want to test, and
sure.
he really got on the other side of the political spectrum too, which was
Uh-huh.
odd. But I'm not going to judge,
Fair enough.
and and so he left, and we were pretty much like kind of like like the Titanic there for a minute, and but we had some gigs still booked, and Jack is the only bass player that Mark ever really had anything good to say about,
Right.
and so the
And he
way
was
that it went down.
Kravitz's band?
Yeah, yeah. Jack was Lenny's bass player from
Yeah.
like all of those years. Like he's the guy that you'll see in all those videos from the '90s. He's a terrific bass player. He's played with a lot of other people as well. I mean, everybody from like Beyonce to the freaking the to Little Steven to Bruce to freaking all sorts of indie bands. And he's got a studio and he makes records and he's a producer and he's just a fantastic musician.
Yeah.
And so we called him and we had these few gigs, and we were like, "Hey, do you want to come and play?
Yeah.
Because we have these gigs." And he said, "Yeah," and he came out, and the first one got canceled from weather,
Uh-huh.
and the second one we haven't had another one get canceled, I don't think, since. And that was almost 5 years ago. And 2 years after that, you see, here's the thing: we already had that record in the can written because we were writing it on our phones the year before, me and Aaron and
Interesting.
Chris.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we had very similar to Kryptonite. We had like this cachet of songs, and we tend to make that record. There's a few pop songs, there's a few rock songs, there's a few psych songs, there's a
Right.
ballad. It's just a Spin Doctors record if you look at any of them, really. And so yeah, so that was so similar. It was just like
Yeah.
we had these songs. We didn't really have a bass player, and then Jack came in and we clicked, and then we he has a studio. So the pandemic
Not
happened, and
bad.
we went
Yeah.
into the studio and we
Uh-huh.
cut 13 songs or 12 songs in 12 days or whatever it was.
Whoa. My
One
God.
song a day. And we added some keyboards on the last day. Chris did the vocals in the evening of every day. There's very little overdub guitar stuff. There was hardly any time for. Did some solos, and Roman Clune mixed it. That's Aaron's guy from New York, and he mixed it great. And it's so similar to Kryptonite. It's like that's exactly how Kryptonite happened. It's so interesting that it's a different bass player.
Yeah.
And the difference, I would say, is that, the funk went from being like sort of hard Queens funk to kind of like that, like more like 70s like funk, like the I Liked You Better When Your Butt Was Big, like the
Yeah,
fingerstyle stuff,
I love
and
that song.
yeah, it's a funny tune, and that's our walk-off song actually. That comes
Nice.
on when we bow,
Nice.
and then all the other tunes they follow a similar pattern, and so I would say just in closing, it's like like we got more melodic rock
Yeah,
and and more like 70s funk, whereas with Mark we're more hard funk and more like that kind of like hard edged 24/7 Spies kind of rock feel, like
sure.
coming out of the 90s like that. But it's a hell of a lot of similarities. So those two records, which I agree with you, those are my two favorite Spin Doctors records. They have a lot
Oh,
in
wow.
common. Yeah, I really feel exactly how you just said it. And
Yeah.
so we they work live. That's the proof is that you can play most of the songs up against the Kryptonite song. People don't feel like we're forcing it. People don't, turn around and walk out, and they sort of light each other up. So
100%. The energy on it
you
is
know
just
we're the Spin
undeniable. Like
Doctors.
like I can tell. I like a lot of your records, but that one in particular, I just feel like chemistry is there. I want to transition though quickly because
Yeah,
we are running out. Want to
yeah,
do a little lightning round, and I'm
yeah.
gonna
You
start
got
with the song you just mentioned. I like you better. So this lightning
it.
round now. First thing comes to your head.
When you're about with it.
Um, uh, I like you better when your butt was big. We're in the age of Ozempic and like miracle drugs. And what
Yes,
I
we
want to
are.
know
Yeah,
is there a concern that butts are getting too small? And is this something that
maybe.
it's looking into?
Well, it's possible, except for the song was written just before
Just before Ozempic.
Ozempic really,
Okay.
just before it really dug in.
All
You know
right.
what I mean? So it was still in the age of like, I liked you better when your butt was big. And now it really has some significance because the butts are disappearing.
It's true.
It means
Um,
more than it did. Means more than it even was supposed to at this point.
uh, Pete, do you have a lightning round
I
question?
do. I mean, I gotta ask. I rewatched your set at Woodstock '94, and I mean, it's just incredible. I mean, can you just talk maybe like a highlight moment for you remembering that show? If you're,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, sure. Really quickly, I was just really in a guitar place in my mind. Like, we were coming off a huge high, and the if you look, the back line was like the guitar rig was two 100-watt Marshalls on
yeah,
four cabinets, all plugged in. The Marshalls were running 6552s, which are oversized for those amps. They were about 25 feet behind me, and they had that big round stage that spun around
yes,
as you're supposed to start. I don't know. I think we might have been Jimmy Olsen or something. And I just remember, look, the monitor guy came by, and I just said, I was like kick, snare, and some bass and Chris, and because I could feel that guitar, and I was like 20 feet in front of it. I could feel it on my pants, and to me, I just wanted to, in my mind, for what it's worth, I just wanted to experience the Woodstock vibe by trying to relive, you know, just that because you
Yeah.
can. That's the way it was. What did that feel like? So
yeah.
that's my
Um,
memory.
is the fro that you had gonna make a comeback? Because that was a fro, man.
Yes.
I have no
That
idea.
was awesome.
That's me in humidity. Yeah, 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 yeah. I used to play for Luvette Jackson. She used to introduce me as her son sometimes. Anyways,
Um,
Amazing.
Pete, you got anything else? Because otherwise, I think we.
I think, yeah, I just want to say again, it has been such a privilege talking to you, and thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck with the tour in Asbury Park tomorrow. Check out
thanks.
Eric's new record, 10 Smiles.
Yeah,
We're
10
excited.
yeah.
smiles. Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, I
Sign
got
me up for
videos
an
coming
11th.
out, and the band is alive on the internet too. And yeah, come see us. Thanks, guys. This was fun. I'm glad that I didn't think twice. Send me a link so I can, post
Absolutely.
it up.
We
Absolutely.
absolutely will.
Okay,
Thank you so much. All
great.
right.
Dave, Peter, just come and come look me up if we're near you, and come see me in Charlotte.
Absolutely. I'd love to. Have a
Are you
great
guys
night,
coming
Eric.
back
Yeah,
to the
just shoot
Brooklyn
me.
Bowl anytime soon?
We're thinking about it. We're going to be in New York in February, March, and we don't know where yet. It could be Irving, it could be the Brooklyn Bowl, it could be I don't know, but it'll be posted up on our
I
thing.
love you guys at the Brooklyn Bowl. That is the
Yeah.
successor venue to the Wetlands too. So there's
True.
that.
Yes, Peter's
Peter's
venue.
place.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Thank
All
you
right,
so
guys.
much again.
Have a great night.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Be good,
Yep.
you guys. See you.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Okay.